Sapphire Sunset by C. Travis Rice. Performed by the author. They'd warned Logan the hours around midnight could either be a non-stop crazy parade or peaceful as a tomb. Tonight, it was the latter. After he'd finished dealing with the fallout from the party crashers, his supervisor had assigned him midnight rounds. The shift consisted of walking the resort's perimeter while watching out for wayward kids or lovemakers too tipsy to make it all the way back to their beds. No doubt, most of the senior guys were bored stiff by the routine, and so assigning it to him was probably a form of initiation for the new guy. Or he was being punished for coming down too hard on the party crashers. Either way, he didn't mind. The gorgeous views were worth it. While part of the shift meant being ready to respond to any call that came in through his earpiece, it sounded like Sapphire Cove was turning in for the night. On all sides of him, the laughter of pleasantly drunk guests danced on the ocean winds, and some of the sliding glass doors to the guest rooms overhead stood open even though the rooms were dark, suggesting the room's occupants had been lulled to sleep by the sound of the surf. This was the perfect opportunity to take a deep breath and enjoy the peaceful and quiet night. Count his blessings he wasn't in some sand-blasted tent somewhere, trying to sleep through artillery fire from the surrounding desert hills. But he was too damn busy cursing himself for what he'd said to Connor Harcourt. Baby blues? What the hell had he been thinking, hitting on the guy so brazenly? And yeah, it had just slipped out, and it had seemed like the best way to defuse the situation. Damn if the sight of the blush it had sent to his cheeks hadn't made Logan's heart race. But at best, the comment was unprofessional. At worst, he came off like a guy trying to get ahead in a new job by hitting on the owner's grandson. The wink could be forgiven, even if Connor had let out a small gasp in response. Winks were private, personal, and they could mean a lot of things, most of them warm. Inviting Connor to dance with him? That could take him right over the cliff's edge. When he reached the lawn outside the Dolphin Ballroom, he saw, to his disappointment, the terrace doors were already closed, and the lighting rigs were being broken down, and maintenance was already rolling in a sea of 10 top tables for some brunch scheduled for the following morning. A brunch Logan was pretty sure had been slated for the Seahorse Room. He was also pretty sure Connor's party had been scheduled to go until midnight, but the guests were long gone. Was Connor? He was searching for a sign of the guy inside when a clear voice said, "Well, if it isn't my hero." And there he was, the prince himself, walking toward Logan across the shadowed grass, blonde hair blowing in the ocean wind and a little plastic bag bearing the UC Irvine logo dangling from one hand. When he entered the light streaming through the terrace doors, Logan was left breathless by the sight of the warm, open smile on his face. Did the guy's confidence and energy ever wane? He'd been fully prepared to take on those drunks himself, and they were each about twice his size. Logan tried to return the smile, but it felt like the only result was a spasm in his right cheek. For most of his life, Logan had thought strength meant muscles and endurance and a battle scar here and there. But an entirely different kind of strength radiated from Connor Harcourt, and it came in a sparkly, strutting package. The strength that came from being out and proud and not needing to butch it up for a crowd. And money, he thought darkly, in a voice that kind of sounded like his old man's after one too many Coronas. Some of it probably comes from having tons and tons of money.